Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Lunar, and welcome to a smashing video all about Ravenfield mods. This is a follow-up to my previous video, which has well over 300 views at the time of this recording, so shout out to you guys for watching that. But before I discuss the mods, however, I want to take some time to address some things mentioned to me by Sharpness Sword. For anyone who hasn't seen that previous video, I made some suggestions for future updates for Ravenfield, particularly for the Conquest and Level Editor. I'll have a link to that video in the description if you guys want to check that out for yourselves. First thing to mention, there are keyboard shortcuts for undo, redo, and duplicating in the editor. I admittedly didn't really know about this because, annoyingly enough, the game doesn't even tell you about these keyboard shortcuts. So that in itself is a minor fix that I would suggest. Or, perhaps a huge thing I could suggest for the developer, a dedicated tutorial for the editor. Yes, there are tutorials online that teach you everything about the editor, but regardless, people who want to make levels might not know what anything does. So an interactive tutorial to show you the ropes, all the keyboard shortcuts, in-game objects, and what they do would really help kickstart their level making. And for one correction I have to make here, Steel Raven has hired a team of developers to work on the game, presumably to ensure that updates can be rolled out quicker and overall development can be completed for the 1.0 release. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Congratulations there, Steel Raven. Here's hoping things will go smoothly for you and your development team. Shout out once again to Sharpness Sword for all these pointers. And now, on with the video. For those who don't already know by now, I love Ravenfield, for it excels as a sandbox FPS similar to Gary's mod. Whether you have all kinds of skins, weapons, vehicles, or even maps, there's a lot that Ravenfield offers with its sandbox approach, especially for the mod support. However, there are people who do want to play the game how they feel is the perfect way for them, and in this video, I'm going to show you all my biggest mod recommendations to make Ravenfield the perfect game of your dreams. Starting off with all of the bigger mods, we've got Plastic Army Men by Sofa. This brings the Army Men universe to Ravenfield and feels like the dream Army Men game even I've been yearning for. Whether or not you played any of the games, this mod defines real combat plastic men and radiates that warm and fuzzy feeling of playing around with Army Men toys. There's also some expansions for this mod, such as air attacks sporting a few new aircraft, and bugs for anyone looking for a survival style mode. I do wish we had more colored factions such as red, gray, and blue, but I don't see the developer adding that due to redundancy. Even with that though, this mod alongside Attack on Toys are the closest things we'll ever get to a new Army Man game, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Next up is the Steelfront Mod Pack, also by Sofa, a tie-in mod for a new game that's currently in the works that literally looks like a large-scale totally accurate battle simulator. More on that later. In this mod, you play as either the Atlian Defense Force, ADF, or the Ventra Accord, waging war for territory over an Earth-like resource-rich planet. There's a lot of lore attached to this mod, as well as the coexisting game this is based on, so you can check out the mod page itself to get more information. As far as gameplay, there's not a whole lot of weapons to utilize, so you only really have an assault rifle, a pistol, and a rocket launcher. The vehicles, however, are the star of the show, with stuff like rovers, assault copters, and mechs to boot, all of which are really fun to use. They have laid out some plans to add new content such as more weapons, boats, and maybe even a couple new maps, but I can imagine development for Steelfront, specifically the game, will be really slow knowing the team is trying to bounce between that and this mod. I am actually following the game on Steam, believe it or not, and I even tried out the demo for it, but it's not really the best, as I'm gonna put it. I'll still be looking forward to this game nonetheless, since I love the idea of making your own battles in a large-scale RTS sandbox, which, to my knowledge, isn't really all that common. The addition of mod support, however, all to make your own weapons and factions, is the cherry on top, making Steelfront seem like the ideal RTS sandbox. If you haven't already heard of this game by now, the game's Steam page is up right now, and the mod itself will definitely hold you over until the official release. How about some Star Wars mods by Yezere? These are always a treat for anyone who wants to recreate those amazing memories of playing Star Wars Battlefront, and there are a lot of Star Wars mods you can try out for yourselves. There's the GAR and CIS vehicle packs, compiling everything into a convenient package so you don't have to download each individual vehicle. Then there are the Star Wars skins, particularly the multi-skin packs, which also come with a class mutator. For immersion, there's the Clone and Droid voice pack, featuring voices from the older Star Wars games. And lastly, a music mutator featuring John Williams' iconic music score. Seriously, you can't have Star Wars without John Williams' music. It's that good. If you want to take a look at these for yourself, the link to the mod collection will be right in the description. Finally, for the best mod you should try out for sure, Vanilla Plus by, you guessed it, Sofa. This mod pack aims to completely rework the two factions to make them more distinct with their own weapons, skins, vehicles, and the kitchen sink. This is easily the best mod within Ravenfield, and there's a good reason why people say that. The Eagles and Ravens now feel like their own factions, but you can still customize them to your liking, broadening the scope to newer heights like never before. If I'm being honest, however, talking about this mod is a disservice to how amazing it truly is, so I would highly insist you play this mod for yourself, and I can promise it will really change the way you play Ravenfield. If you want even more Vanilla Plus content or mods akin to this, there is the Halcyon Crisis Pack featuring two factions, the Hawks and the Falcons, the Kestrel Factions Pack, Rolling Thunder, and Aerial Escalation to further expand the pool of vehicles and weapons. This to me is a mod that is a must download, a high recommendation if you'd rather, as it perfectly defines Ravenfield modding at its absolute finest. Want to talk about weapons and mutators that I play with that'll make Ravenfield an even better game especially for you, be it quality of life improvements or adding some depth to the gameplay, here are my biggest recommendations that you should try out for yourselves. Resupply Kit. Feel annoyed that you can only carry a medical or ammo bag yet want to carry a heavy weapon along with that? The Resupply Kit is the perfect gear for you as it's 2-in-1, replenishing both your ammo and health. Now you'll be able to carry a heavy weapon with you with this added convenience. The Sentry Guns Pack. If you want to bolster your capture point's defenses, this weapon pack grants you all kinds of sentry guns, including a rocket variant and a mobile sentry. These weapons of course can only be used by the player, which if I'm being perfectly honest is kind of for the best since these are insanely OP as fuck. Also pretty satisfying to rack up a lot of kills with them though. VTOL Kill Streak. It's just like how it functions in Call of Duty. You can call in a VTOL jet and it works its magic from there. Luckily, to counterbalance its OP nature, the enemy can actually destroy it, but summoning this monstrosity can really rack in some kills, admittedly making battles unfair for the enemy. Still though, if you love your kill streaks, this is a weapon you can use yourself. Immediate air support to give your battles a sense of scale. There's both a player only and bot variant, which can have some interesting results. I strongly recommend being cautious if you choose to give bots this weapon, it likely will not end very well for you. I gotta say though, the explosion sounds... Chef's kiss material. Call in AC-130. Yet again, like with the VTOL jet, it functions just as it does in Call of Duty, but you are given the option to control the AC-130 if you choose. Otherwise, it fucks up just about anything it touches. First-person ragdoll. For anyone looking for an immersive gameplay experience, this mutator does the job. It's also compatible with Festive and Seiyus' third-person mutator. Universal recoil. This mutator aims to make gunplay better by giving a sense of weight to every weapon you fire. This recoil mutator has a lot of settings you can mess around with, from ADS strength, to base recoil, prone and crouching recoil, pushback, and can even put tags to exclude certain weapons from this recoil. If you want to make it even better, however, it's also compatible with Universal Camera Shake by Aquafire, making for more immersive gameplay. For anyone looking for a HUD overhaul, my personal favorite is the COD Black Ops 2 HUD. It's very nicely stylized and actually goes pretty well with the Vanilla Plus mod. You can even use this in tandem with the Score System mutator. Quick Throw. It does exactly as it says. With a keybind of your choosing, you can quick throw your gear items from grenades to med packs. This is useful if you want a convenient way to throw gear without having to switch weapons. Customizable bot names. Like giving your armies personality? Then this is the mutator for you. You get a great selection of names for Americans, Germans, Japanese, and so on. You can even designate these names to any team of your choosing and can also have multiple name pools active. Team voices. With this mutator, you can give both teams any voice of your desire. The voice packs I've been using are the Droids and Clones by Yezere, Call of Duty by Pseudoname, and Battlefield 1942 by Dr. PhD. All of these voice packs to me will be perfect for the mods I talked about, and you can even mix and match these voices however you desire. Lemu's Gore 2. This is one of the coolest mutators for Ravenfield, as it renders blood and gore. You can literally dismember limbs and other body parts when shooting someone, but honestly, I'd rather just let the footage speak for itself.
Blood is everywhere!
Of course, this will only look more proper if you set the blood to decals only, so make sure you understand now if you download this mod. Weapon pickup. If you're getting annoyed about running out of ammo and can't find ammo boxes to replenish it, then this mutator sort of mitigates that issue. For any weapon a bot drops, you'll have a chance to pick it up and you'll be left with however many bullets that bot had to spare. Ammo control. For those who aren't entirely satisfied with weapon pickup, this mutator will solve the problem of lackluster ammo count. You can even set the multiple ammo count for pretty much everything, including heavy weapons and gear. Reload control. This allows you to change the time it takes to reload your weapons. As someone who likes his Ravenfield gameplay to be arcadey and fast-paced, this is a godsend. Of course, this doesn't actually affect bots, but it can really help you get out of a pinch. Replace gunner. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Bots just get in the gunner seat when a vehicle is empty. Stance movement speed. This allows you to change the movement speed, including crouching and prone mode. This is actually very helpful for sprinting across larger maps, which in my opinion, can take a little while to get from one point to another, especially with the base game speed being a little too sluggish for my liking. Smart movement. This mod is an improved version of sprint to stand, where you can now sprint from a crouch and get out of prone with the jump button. A perfect mutator that makes gameplay flow a whole lot more smoothly. Empty dry gun sounds. Useful for telegraphing when you're out of ammo. The sound cue will be very helpful for those who are looking for player feedback. Impact sound effects. This gives audio feedback that feels and sounds realistic, immersing the player in vehicular combat. Vehicle manual flip. I don't really understand why this hasn't been a thing at all, but this mutator fixes the issues of vehicles getting stuck until they despawn. With the push of a button, your vehicle will flip over instantly, allowing you to carry on and use it. Bots conserve ammo. This mutator will prevent bots from wasting clips on a target from far away. You can even edit the distance they fire, along with the CQB, heat gain, and even control the burst rate. Helpful if you have the weapon pickup mutator. Minimap. This gives you a minimap that shows the position of crates and flags, which can be toggled in the mutator's menu. I always hate having to pull out the map with a keybind, so this added convenience will make it a lot easier for many people, myself especially. Armed passengers. This mod just allows passengers to use their weapons in certain vehicles. Especially helpful for if you're in need to defend yourself. And now for a couple of optional mutators that I also like to use. Starting off with simple weather. This gives you different weather options for immersion, from rain to snow, sandstorms, even Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis!
Stealth assist. This grants you the ability to stay hidden while crouching, spot and target hostile units, and dive in water. This mutator is definitely a must for anyone who likes to play Spec Ops. Chopper hot deploy! Your reinforcements will be deployed via air transport, spawning in from an occupied capture point, and comes with tons of options for how you want to set it up. It also comes with an always land mutator that gives the ability for transport copters to land wherever. Universal better water. You're given some options of what kind of water you want to use in your maps, and I have to say, they all actually look really pretty, especially the sea and realistic waters. Uncapturable objectives. It's exactly as it sounds. It just allows you to tackle uncapturable spawns for eagles and ravens. And finally, music mutators. As one wisely said themselves, music is decoration for silence. The few that I would highly recommend for anyone playing Ravenfield are Star Wars, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, World at War, and Helldivers 2 for all you democracy junkies out there. And that's the video, folks. Needless to say, when it comes to Ravenfield, the world is your oyster, and it's awesome to see this game getting more and more mods every day. I feel had it not been for the amazing mod support, this game probably wouldn't have the identity or fanbase it's garnered over the years. But, with that said, let me know what mods you recommend for Ravenfield and how you like to play the game yourself. And so everyone, I bid you all adieu, farewell, have yourselves a lovely day, and until next time, this is Lunar signing out. See you later, everybody, and thanks for watching.